All right, forget capes, forget secret identities. Long before any of that, there was a goddess roaming the mountains with a silver bow, a will of absolute iron, and a story that's way more dramatic than any comic book. Today we're exploring the full biography of, the original superhero, the Greek goddess Artemis.
So to really get to know Artemis, we got to look at our character file. And right away, things get pretty interesting. Her domains. They're a fascinating mix, right? You've got the untamed wilderness and the hunt, but also childbirth and protecting young girls. She's an Olympian, daughter of the top god Zeus, but as we're going to see, she never really played by the standard Olympian rules.
And this really gets to the heart of who she is, this incredible set of contradictions. I mean, how can a goddess who swore off marriage be the one women pray to when they're in labor? And how can the ultimate huntress also be the fiercest protector of the very animals she hunts? Well, these paradoxes are what make her so compelling. And her origin story shows they were basically written into her DNA from her first moments of life.
Look, every hero needs a dramatic origin story. And trust me, Artemis is top tier. It all begins before she was even born, caught up in this whole mess of celestial power plays and, of course, jealousy.
So here's the setup. Zeus's wife Hera was, let's just say, furious about his affair with the titaness Leto. So she cursed Leto, basically saying that no land under the sun could give her a place to deliver her children. Desperate, Leto finally finds this barren floating island called Delos, which, and this is clever, wasn't technically solid land. And it's right there that the story of Artemis really begins.
And this is the most astonishing part of her origin. Artemis was born first. And get this, as a newborn, with zero training, no hesitation, she immediately acts as a midwife, helping her mother through a grueling 9-day labor to deliver her twin brother Apollo. Just think about that for a second. Her very first act in existence was to ease the suffering of childbirth. This is the key to her contradiction. She protects childbirth not as a mother, but as a guardian who experienced its pain right from the get-go.
That incredible birth, well, it defined her from the start. From that moment on, Artemis knew exactly who she was. So as a young girl, she goes up to her father Zeus, not with some childish request, but with a crystal-clear mission statement for her entire life.
This quote from an ancient hymn is just so powerful because it's that moment where the hero declares their purpose. She's not asking for palaces or jewels. No way. She asks for eternal independence. She asks for the tools of her trade, a bow and arrows. And she asks for her domain, not a city, not a kingdom, but all the wild mountains of the world.
And Zeus actually granted her wishes. This is her superhero power-up sequence, for sure. She gets eternal chastity, which guaranteed her freedom from any kind of patriarchal control or unwanted marriages. She gets her iconic silver bow and arrows, forged by the Cyclopes themselves. A practical hunter's tunic, made for speed, not for style. A pack of loyal hounds. And to top it all off, total dominion over the wilderness. Her superhero kit was officially complete.
So, with her identity locked in, Artemis enters the world of myth, and her encounters become the stuff of legend. But here's the thing, interacting with this goddess was a super high-stakes gamble. Depending on the day, you could face her divine mercy, or her absolutely terrifying wrath. And this slide just captures her two extremes perfectly. On one side, you've got mercy. When King Agamemnon ticked her off, he was told to sacrifice his own daughter Iphigenia. But at the very last second, Artemis swaps the girl for a deer and saves her. But on the other side, pure wrath. When the hunter Actaeon accidentally saw her bathing, a huge violation of her sacred chastity, there were no second chances. She turned him into a stag and he was torn apart by his own dogs. It just goes to show you, her actions were driven by this fierce, uncompromising code of honor.
But she wasn't always this unstoppable force. The myths also show her vulnerable side. During the Trojan War, she sided against Hera, and in the big god brawl that followed, Hera grabbed Artemis' own bow, beat her with it, and sent the fierce huntress running back to Olympus to cry on her dad's lap. It's a great reminder that even she was part of a really complex, and often pretty brutal, divine family.
So clearly, Artemis wasn't just some character in ancient stories. Her influence was immense, and it's echoed through the centuries, transforming from this object of worship into a powerful symbol for our modern world.
To really grasp the scale of her worship, you only need to know this one fact. Her temple at Ephesus was so massive, so incredible, it was considered one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. We're talking something that rivaled the pyramids. People traveled from all over just to honor her there, not just as a huntress, but as this kind of universal mother and fertility goddess. It just shows how her identity could adapt and grow.
And Ephesus wasn't just a one-off thing. Her cults, which back then just meant systems of worship, not the negative thing we think of today, they were everywhere. From ritual dances in Sparta to huge coastal processions, different communities celebrated her as a goddess of nature, of life's transitions, and of that wild world that existed right outside their city walls.
So how did this ancient goddess find a whole new life in our time? Well, think about her core attributes: fierce independence, rejecting traditional roles, and total self-reliance. It's no surprise she's become a powerful modern feminist icon. She's really a symbol for any woman who defines her own path and answers to absolutely no one.
And this might be her ultimate legacy. The ancient Greeks always associated her brother Apollo with the sun and Artemis with the moon. So it's just so fitting that after the Apollo missions took men to the moon, NASA's new program to go back and to land the first woman on the lunar surface is named Artemis. She is, once again, following her brother, but this time she's leading the way into a totally new era of exploration.
So we're left with this question, right? Is she the protector, the punisher, or the pioneer? The fact that she can be all three, and that we still see ourselves in our story thousands of years later, well, that's the true testament to the original superhero.